My name is Jeff Pagano, and welcome to Harping on Rugby, where with the help of some fellow fans, I get the chance to harp on what's going on with Leinster, Ireland, and the wider rugby world. Now, it's a busy weekend for us with two matches to wrap, and first up, joining me to look back over Friday's URC action in Belfast is someone earning his 63rd Harping cap. Welcome back to Mr. Tom Coleman.
Evening, Jeff. Thanks for having me back. And to you, David,
Good,
too. How's it going?
good to have you. And also with us, earning his fifth cap, is Mr. David Cordio. Hello, sir.
Good to be here, Jeff.
Indeed. Great to have you both. All of which brings us to our final thoughts, starting with Tom.
Yeah, no, as I've touched on already, look, absolutely brilliant to get a win. It's always a hard game up there. David rightly pointed out, Ulster do always seem to come to town when they play us. And it is the oldest derby on the country. It was the first game back in the day. So yeah, great to get a win. Great to get some players back on the pitch again. Jimmy O'Brien and Jordan Larmour were really important to how we played, especially in that second half, and some of the scramble stuff that we're doing in the first half. And they're pushing for places now in the big matches, even with all the returning internationals. Yeah, no, a good match all around. I think still plenty to work on. It did look a bit unstructured at times, and it did look like, as you say, it didn't look like we're going to get a bonus point win, or it didn't feel like a bonus point win. But yeah, like any win on the road, especially with Ireland playing the day before, or the day after, I should say, in Lansdowne, with the number of Leinster players down there, absolutely fantastic win. Still, I suppose, not jury out is the wrong word on Slimani. Look, he's the sort of fella that, when you've 20 minutes to go in La Rochelle and he has to come on, and big French Parker trying to bully you, and if he can lock it out, that's where he'll know his stuff, and that's where that sort of takes the pressure off Clarkson if that's the circumstances. And that's the 1% Leinster are looking for, really. So I'll hold fire on him till the end of the season, and I'm sure he's helping a lot of the young props on both sides to have somebody of his experience around the camp. And he seems to be very, very well got in the camp. And you see some of the footage and some of the pictures coming out, he seems to have found a long lost friend in his twin Michael Milne from Offaly. I'm sure they're cousins somehow from Offaly and Algerian descent. But again, having a guy like him, experience, and Snyman coming off the bench, which was another big boost. That quality player and international, just with so many younger guys around, it does make a difference. Even though we tend to focus in on their errors, and at this stage, value for money, sure, what's that really to us? You know what I mean? It's irrelevant at this stage. No, as I said, great win overall, and still some questions about the pecking order at half back and the way Leinster play, and the way Leinster want to play. So there's a bit of card shuffling to go on at 9 and 10, when everybody's there, and it'll be interesting to see what way the cards are put down on the table and what order. So interesting times selection wise ahead over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned RG there, because I mean, you could say this was his quietest performance for Leinster. I remember when the team that, I mean, that's not he didn't. I'm not saying he did poorly. It's just for him. When we were losing, I just figured, well, RG's not on yet. He's probably going to come on and just basically demolish them. And we were looking for that kind of impact. And he did some good offloads and stuff, and he did it. He got involved in and stuff, but it was.
I don't know if you've seen the ad. I don't know if you've seen the ad about the dad getting called up to the fifths, because
yeah.
He strikes me as the type of fellow that got a text during the week going, "What? I have to go where? I've just come back from wherever South Africa were playing the week before," and he's going, "Okay, So I'd say he was the reluctant dad in the car going, "Shit, I have to go to Belfast," but.
I mean, you can totally imagine him just literally arriving at the stadium in the morning without even having trained during the week and just being able to go on and do a job, But no, it's not a bad person to bring on anyway, whatever the situation. David, your final thoughts?
I think it's a game that Leinster are going to look back on and say, "Job done." This is it 6 bonus points from 7 wins. The perfect streak is maintained. It's a lot is made of the fact that the trophies aren't won in November, but given the timing of the Leinster South Africa tour right after the Six Nations this year, you have to imagine that will be a diminished squad that heads down there. So the more points that can be picked up now, the bigger a buffer that can be built up now, can only put us in good stead as the end of the tournament comes along. I thought Ulster will be. I mean, it's always disappointing to lose at home, but I think given the injury crisis they suffered, they'll be happy enough that they managed to hold it. You know, it could have gotten a lot more ugly for them. And I don't think John Cooney will be wanting to spend much more time with the wing, but you know, to come away with losing bonus points, you know, is not the worst outcome for them. And there were large sections of that game where they had Leinster under really serious pressure. You know, even when Leinster did manage to retake the lead not even retake the lead, take the lead in the second half, it wasn't long before also we're right back on top of them. So I think they'll like that. Richie Murphy certainly should be happy with the kind of the temperament that his team has shown this season so far. I'd be interested to see a little bit more of the young Humphreys lad. You know, he got on towards the end there. Didn't really see enough of him to get a really good read, but I would like to see a little bit more of him. Snyman, as you said, it wasn't a really star-studded performance for him, but I think it highlights the fact that in the days, obviously there was an overlap with the Autumn Nation series this weekend, a little bit different because the Australia game was outside that window, but it opens up the fact that this is a guy who, when Ireland players are away for Six Nations or whatever international rest, this is a guy who's still going to be with the squad. And you know, you think back to someone like Issa Nasawi, you know, having a player of that caliber in the squad when everyone else is away can hold a rabble of 14 other young fellas together. And thinking again of that South Africa squad, an opportunity for him to maybe link up with the family back home, but also if we send a younger team down there with him at its core and Rabah Slimani to hold down the scrum, it could really change the look of that trip. So look, I think, you know, it wasn't a perfect performance, but at the end of the day, try bonus point win in Belfast. There can't be too many complaints about that. And I think if I had one takeaway from this, I'd like to see a lot more fit and gun.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, I think the worst thing about this weekend for Leinster was the fact that international was on, and it's literally 1 week before the Champions Cup starts. You would have liked that buffer of an extra week, just to get, you know, to reassimilate the players back in. I mean, our first game isn't until Sunday, so I suppose that might help a little bit. But otherwise, you know, bonus point away in the road, and you know, continues the maximum start to the season. You can't really have too many complaints. Okay, well, listen, lads, we're going to leave it there. Many thanks again to Tom and David for joining me, and great job, and hope to have you both on again soon. Thanks, lads.
Thanks, Jeff.